All right, cool. All right, what's up, everybody? We want to get started, get the ball rolling on today. So just a quick recap. So we're in a series. The goal for this year is to create more businesses that make over $10,000 a month, more businesses to go over six figures. And we've studied different blueprints. We've studied um, different businesses, and we've seen what works and what doesn't work. So what we're doing now is just creating, giving you guys a blueprint, creating a system, allowing you guys to put into action how to accomplish these same things. Okay. Um, we run our business off a principle called action, the law of action. That's A, assess, C, commit, T, track, I, innovate, O, optimize, and N, nurture. Right. We use that formula to run our business because we believe that there's not a lack of information, but a lot of times there's a lack of implementation. So we believe in action. So last month, what we were working on was um, mastering your free. So with mastering your free, one of the things that we wanted to make sure that we were conscious of was creating an offer that you can give out to your clients or your audience consistently that will allow you to get leads in on a consistent basis, right? So if you think about your business right now, how different would it look if every week you had 10 to 15 people raising their hand saying, I'm interested in what it is that you offer, right? How different will your business look if when you woke up, there were people saying, hey, can you help me with this thing? Right? I heard you as the person that does this, right? That's an amazing feeling opposed to feeling like waking up feeling like you have to go chase the next client, right? So what we're going to be talking about, or what we talked about in last month, was how to create your own motion. Everyone wants their own motion. No one really knows how to do it. Everyone says go create content. No one tells you the strategy behind creating content. Okay. So what we talked about last month was creating leads. You should have came out of last month with a system where you can identify how to get leads on a consistent basis. Okay. Now that we have leads, that leads us into this session or this season where we're talking about sell your sauce. The next part is now that you have the attention, let's turn that attention into money. Let's turn that attention into clients. Is that okay? So what we're going to be talking about is optimizing your offer and optimizing your pricing strategy. Okay. So we're going to make sure that we're all on the same page for how to turn those people who show interest into people who are paying you money, right? Because that's what we're in business for. So what we're going to be talking about today is we're going to ensure that the offer aligns with your audience's needs. Then we're going to look at your pricing position, and then we're going to look at overcoming any objection. Okay. All right, all right. Any questions? Make sure you just put in the chat. We'll make sure we answer those questions, and make sure that we get you taken care of. All right, so let's get into it. So the first one we're going to talk about is ensure that the offer aligns with what the audience's needs. Right. So imagine you selling fur coats, but you live in Miami, right? You're on the street every day trying to sell fur coats, but you live in Miami. Like, yeah, these may be great quality coats, but you're probably not going to sell a bunch, right? Right? That might not be the best offer for your clients. Maybe you need to sell sunscreen. Maybe you need to sell swimming trunks. Maybe you need to sell surfboards, right? But imagine if you lived in Alaska and you're selling surfboards, you might not make a lot of money. So you want to make sure that your offer aligns to what your people actually need. And I always say this, we're in business, and one of the biggest things that we do a lot of times within business is we miss a step, and that step is let's like actually communicate with our audience. Let's have a conversation, right? And that conversation is just making sure that they know that you have a solution for their problem, A, and then B, you want to make sure that that problem is big enough where they feel the need to spend money on that problem. Does that make sense? So you want to make sure that those two things align, that you can solve the problem, and that need is so imminent that they're going to want to take money out of their pocket and spend it with you. Okay. So number one, we're going to ensure that the offer aligns with the audience's needs. Okay. So the first thing we want to do, we want to be specific in what you solve. So you don't want to be all over the place in what you're saying that you offer and what you solve for your clients. You want to make sure that there's what I would recommend is create one solution that solves one problem for one audience. Okay. So what does that mean? Um, I sell surfboards to who? To surfers in California, right? That's one solution. That's one problem I solve. One audience, right? It's very simple. Okay. So now, if someone says, "Hey, I'm in Alaska. Can you send me a surfboard?" No, I don't. That's not really my avenue. That's not. You're not really in my audience. Okay. Now you can be more specific in who you push away and also who you attract. Okay. So be specific in what you solve. Number two, keep it simple. You don't want to be all over the place. The worst thing that you can do is confuse your audience. If your audience is confused, guess what? They don't buy. You never want your audience to be in a position where they're wondering, like, man, like I want to work with this person, but I'm not even sure how they can help me. That's the worst thing that they can say. That's the worst thing that they can have in their mind. How can this person actually help? Okay. All right. Um, So you don't want to overwhelm your clients, right? You don't want to have too many features and benefits. You just want to focus on the actual result. If the result is to get this person to lose 100 pounds, then you want to focus on how can I get this person to lose 100 pounds, right? And then everything that you're doing is a metric that tracks how close are they getting to losing that 100 pounds. You want to keep it very simple. So what I would do is I would write out my offer. I would write out literally step by step what it is that I do to my client to get them the result. So if the result is for them to lose 100 pounds, what are the steps that I take to get this person to lose 100 pounds? Is it meal prep? Is it consistent working out? Is it using the sauna, steam room, whatever? What are those steps to get that person to lose 100 pounds in 90 days or whatever your goal, whatever your thing is, right? You want to make it very simple. So once you iron out what those steps are, look at how can I cut back the fat? How can I take out the things that's like mundane and stuff they don't like doing? Let's make it as simple as possible. So now, once it's simple, I can plug and play this system into anybody who wants to lose 100 pounds, and they're going to do what? They're going to lose the 100 pounds, right? That's how simple you want it to be. Because now we can start talking about scaling this business, right? Now we can talking about plugging somebody else into this business and allowing them an opportunity to take over a client. Right now, we're talking about delegation. Now we're talking about somebody else doing this, getting the same results for your clients using your system. Okay, that's a whole different ball game. Now we're really talking about growing a business. Okay. The next thing that you want to do is you want to validate your offer in your market. So use feedback from your leads and past clients to refine your offer. So what you want to do is look at what you're offering and literally have a conversation. So those clients who didn't get the best results, ask them, "Hey, do you mind if I do a quick survey with you? Why didn't you get the results? Like what was something that held you back, or what was something that could have made this a better experience for you?" Right? Those clients who did get the results, hey, what could have made this a better experience? What was something that you enjoyed about this? What was something you didn't enjoy about this? Right? Let's make sure that what we're offering and the things that we're putting into this system is actually a benefit to our clients and not a nuance to our clients, right? Or nuisance to our clients, right? We want to make sure that is appropriate for what we're doing, right? So this is how you validate your offer, and this is also how you validate your market. Okay. Any questions so far? All right, cool. All right, so that's number one. Ensure the offer aligns with the audience's needs. Okay. Number two, what we're going to look at is price positioning. So, Terrence, what does that mean? Price positioning. Price positioning is how you position your pricing in regards to your market, right? I always say this: you have every social media platform has a different personality, right? Now, each personality on that platform has a positioning that they prefer, right? So if we're talking about Facebook, it's an older audience, right? A older audience typically is more well established. They're typically already in their careers. They may have family. They may have grandchildren, right? They have assets. What does that mean? They have more liquid cash to spend than somebody who's just coming out of college, right? So but they're also maybe more risk averse. So you want to make sure that your offer and your positioning for your pricing fits that audience. You don't want to create a positioning for your pricing that doesn't fit your audience, because what's going to happen is it's going to cause sales friction. And every time, even though you have a great offer, you have a great product, and it's actually a decent audience, but they're always going to come up against that thing because, like, oh man, like it sounds great, but I don't know if this is something that's in my budget right now, right? If you keep hearing the same objection, then you know that there's something that you need to change within that to make sure that you can get the right product for the right clients. Okay. So number one, we're going to look at value over pricing, right? So your price should reflect transformation, not just your time and deliverables, right? So you don't want to focus so much on the price that it takes away from what it actually does for them. How do you do this? This is why positioning is so important. When you position this correctly, it doesn't matter what you price a product. It does not matter. I promise you, the value matters, right? So instead of talking to this person about, yeah, it's going to cost, $100 a month. You get 4 sessions. We'll meet 3 times. We'll do Zoom. We'll do in person. No, it's, yo, like, you're going to be on the beach with a 2 piece on when you lose these 100 pounds. Man, have you looked at a doctor to do a skin removal? Because you're going to lose these 100 pounds. Like, what's your favorite color? What type of bathing suit are you looking at that you're going to put on once you lose these 100 pounds? Right? Guess what we're not talking about? We're not talking about pricing. We're talking about value. Right? That's way more important than what the price is going to take. Because now, once we build up that value, now it almost don't matter what we charge, because they're going to figure it out. And here's the thing that I want you to always remember: when someone says, like, I don't know if this is in my budget, I don't know if I can afford this, I want you to think about this. If I came to you right now and said, hey, listen, um I have a Lamborghini right now. If you can give me $500 in the next hour, guess what happens? And there's nothing wrong with the Lamborghini. It's perfectly working fine. I just don't need it. I'm just giving it away for $500. Okay, nothing wrong with it. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to say, this Lamborghini costs at least $100,000. So let me find this $500, because if I can find this $500, then I can get this Lamborghini. Even if I sell it for $60,000, I still have come up. I'm taking advantage of Terrence for buying this Lamborghini for $500. That's the conversation that you want your clients to have. You want them to feel like that you're almost taking advantage of them based on what you're giving them, right? And that does not mean put a whole bunch of stuff in there. That just means that the value is so inevitable that they leave there like, I can't believe it. I just cannot believe it. Okay. All right. So that's the value over pricing. Then we want to make sure we choose the right model. So when we look at models, I'm just keep it simple. We're going to look at low ticket, and then we're going to look at high ticket, right? So you can integrate both into your process, right? So the first thing that we talked about last month, we talked about a free model, right? So that's a different model. So we have a free model to get those clients from to get into that awareness stage, right? And then we get them into that engagement stage. So we want to make sure that we get them for free to, if you have low ticket, if you offer low ticket, get them to that low ticket model, right? Then we transition from low ticket to high ticket. Guess what happens within this process? This person has committed to you 3 times. They went from free, they committed to get to free, then they went from free to low ticket, then they went from low ticket to high ticket. Now, what happens is once they've converted to high ticket, there's no question if they trust you or not. There's no question if they believe that you're going to give them the value that they know that you're going to give them, right? Now it's just a question of making sure that it's a good fit for them. Okay. So you want to make sure that you choose the right model within your business, because it really depends on how successful you're going to be. And this is why it's important to know and understand your audience too. You may have an audience that don't feel comfortable spending $10,000 off rip. Maybe you need to have a $500 offer right? Starting off, that leads to a $10,000 offer, right? We were talking last week about some of the offers that you guys had. So some of those, it don't make sense to have a low ticket offer. Some of those need to be a $10,000 offer, right? And that's going to lead us to our next point. This is sales confidence. Are you confident enough to say to this client, "Hey, my offer is $10,000. Would you? How do you want to spend? Do you want to use a debit or a credit card?" Okay, you want to know and understand how you can be confident when you're asking for the sale. There's a part in asking for the sale where you just shut up. Don't talk too much. You create the offer, you position it, you do your pitch, and once you do your pitch, you say your pricing, and then you just be quiet, right? Because if you've created this pitch correctly, then they should know. They should almost be saying, like, how do I pay? How much is it? How do I pay? Okay. Now, what happens when you don't have sales confidence? When you don't have sales confidence, you don't charge enough, and you know you don't charge enough, right? You say, "Oh, it's okay. I'll get it on the back end." Nope, you don't. But you don't, right? So you want to make sure that you don't undercharge because of your fear that someone isn't going to pay. My recommendation is that you incrementally increase your prices until you get a bunch of pushback. Not just one, but you get a bunch of pushback. So you increase your prices from $1,000 to 1,100, from 1,100 to 1,300, 1,300 to 1,500, right? Until somebody says, "Man, that's multiple people say, man, like I don't know, that might not be within my realm right now." Okay, so you want to be confident in that. So one thing that I'm going to recommend that you do is actually work on a pitch. Write out an actual pitch. You want to frame this where you hit any objections. And we're going to talk about this in the next section too. You want to talk about any objections where you frame it where you can alleviate any objections they potentially could have. Then practice this thing. Like, don't get in front of a client and that'd be the first time you talk about pricing. You're going to stumble. You're going to say, well, if you do it today, it's $10,000. No, 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 no. Yes, my offer is $10,000. Be okay to tell a client you might not be able to afford this. This might not be for you, right? Take it away from them. That's another strategy. Taking it away from them. Sometimes they're like, wait a minute, like I think I I want it. Okay. So that's number two. Now, number three, overcoming any objections. So you want to pre-frame your yes, right? So when it comes to objections, guys, it's only four objections that people can give you, right? It's going to be time, it's going to be money, it's going to be spouse, and it's going to be belief. It's not really any objections outside of that, right? So let's go through these really quick. You got time. So time is, I don't know if I have enough time to implement this. Okay, that could be an objection. So it could be, I don't have the time to meet with you every week. It could be an objection, right? Um, so that's time. So then you have pricing. This isn't in my budget. I don't know if I can afford this. Okay. I don't have the discretionary income for this. Okay. Third, spouse. Yeah, I mean, this sounds amazing. I'm actually going to do this on Wednesday. Um, let me talk to my wife first. That is an objection. You have to know that's an objection. Okay. Number four is, I don't have the belief. I don't know if this is something that I can do. I don't know if I can change my pricing. I don't know if I can offer that to clients, right? These are all belief things, right? I don't know if I'm good enough, is what they're saying. Can you tell me that I'm good enough? Okay. So now you know the objections. Let's pre-frame this. When you create your pitch to make sure that all these things are hit by asking a question, right? So now when it gets time for you to make your offer, They're not saying, oh man, let me talk to my wife, because you've asked in the beginning, hey, is there anybody else that you would need here if we make a decision today? They're gonna say, no, like, I make all my decisions. Okay, cool, cool, no problem, right? You can say, hey, just I'm pretty sure you've done your homework. So, like, what have you seen as far as pricing for to solve something like this? Okay, so now if they say, yeah, I was expecting probably to spend around $100 to solve this issue. Oh, really? Wow. Like, how'd you come up with the number 100? Like, where did that come from? Right? Because you know that your offer is $1,500 and they're saying 100. There's a big difference. We might not even need to continue this conversation. Right? So are you saying that that's your budget for fixing this issue? Okay. So then you can go into something a little bit more in detail where you actually look at what is it costing them not to use your service? Okay. That's why the pre-frame is so important. So if we have hit all the objections before we even make them an offer and talk about pricing, guess what? They don't have anything else they can say. Okay. So now, next one, is it really no? Right? This does not mean beat them over the head with objections. No, you ask questions. The way that you handle objections is by asking what? Questions. You continue to ask questions until they give you, until you get down to the root of the real problem. Okay. And they say, yes, this is good information. I think I'm gonna go home and think about it. I'm gonna talk to my spouse and just make sure it's something that that I want to do today. Okay, yeah, I definitely understand. You want to go home and think about it. You don't make decisions on the first day. Is that correct? Cool. So let me ask you a question. I just want to make sure that you have enough information. What is it that you're going to think about when you go home? Oh, well, I'm gonna think about if it's a good fit for me. Oh, so you're not sure if it's going to be a good fit for you. Oh yeah. So you see how what's going to happen is you're going to start to unravel some of the objections they give you, and then they're going to eventually tell you like what's the real issue. Hey man, I'm broke. I don't have any money. Right? Um, this is not, it's not a good fit because I can't afford to pay for it. Right? Then you just kind of know. Oh, okay. Well, you said earlier like this was kind of like within your budget or whatever. Okay. So did anything change, or is it that you don't find value in this thing, right? So you just want to like, if you go into any objection, I want you guys to remember this. This is sales strategy 101. If you go into handling any objection, if the first thing that you do is provide a statement, you're already in the wrong place. You want to give a question that opens up the door for them to talk more, right? So think about, how can I form this into a question? Okay. So is it really a no? Then you want to weaponize your odds. So that kind of falls in a line when we're talking about weaponizing your odds. So like really, really stack the deck in your favor, where it would allow you to use all the things they typically would use against you, by spouse, time, belief, and money. Use those things in your pitch to make sure that those things can't come up later on within the sales conversation. Okay. Now, this is what's important. You want to look at what is the rate of return on this, right? On using this service, right? Or me solving this problem. So yes, you want to lose 100 pounds, but what does that cost you? What does that cost you if you don't lose this 100 pounds, right? Like you have to buy, extra clothes. Extra clothes cost money, right? You have to potentially have a bigger vehicle, because you're not comfortable in a smaller vehicle. You have to what? You have to yeah, more health care. You have more health issues because of this, right? So what is it really costing you to not move forward and not do this right now today? Does this mean that you may not be able to, be there for your children's graduation, or to walk your child down the aisle because you can't take this time for this one moment in your life to lose the 100 pounds, right? So you have to really think about it. This is why it's so important to know and understand your audience. Okay. Now they're like, man, like it's really just pricing. So if it's pricing, one thing that I always do when we talk about pricing is, and I'm telling you guys this, take my word for it, never, ever, ever, ever decrease your price. Okay. Always change your terms. What does that mean? This is a $10,000 offer. Man, Terrence, like I didn't realize it was going to be that much. Like I don't think that's something that, is in my wheelhouse right now to spend. Oh, wow. Okay. You said earlier that, you wanted to fix this problem, and we've identified that, if you don't fix this problem, very soon, that this thing is going to cost you, 30, $40,000 at least, right? You're going to lose at least 30, $40,000. So you don't think it's worth it to spend 10,000 to solve a 30 to $40,000 problem, or to get 40,000 back? That sounds like a good investment. Yeah, it is, but I just don't have the money right now, to do it. Well, listen, here's the thing. I know my thing works, right? So this is what we're gonna do. Instead of you paying the 10,000 today, what we're gonna do is split it up. Would that help you out? Let's split this up over 90 days, instead of you paying a one-time payment. That way you're more comfortable in that. Now, so let's move forward with that today. Okay. Sound good? All right. So now the other thing is, when it comes to objections, is just kind of showing proof. Like, you want to make sure that these clients know and understand where you're coming from, and that you are able to provide this value. So that's why it's important that you have one problem that you solve for one audience. Okay. Because now you can be very specific in saying, okay, I help women lose 100 pounds in 90 days, right? If they look and they're a woman, they can say, okay, well, these are all women that he's helped lose 100 pounds in 90 days, right? So now you put yourself in a position to show that social proof that if they fit into this category, you can help them too. Okay. All right, cool. So that's been the training for today. What we're talking about, selling your sauce, right? So this is very important in step one, to make sure that we're able to um, create an opportunity for these business owners, and for you as a business owner, to convert those leads into paying clients, right? So if you right now are trying to understand, man, like I'm really excited about all the new leads I'm getting, but how can I turn these into clients? This is step one on how to sell your sauce and turn those leads into clients. Okay. Um, so this has been a great session. Hopefully this was helpful to somebody, and that we're able to get the ball rolling. I really want to see you make some money this week. What I want you to do, here's your homework. The homework that I have is that I want you to create your pitch, right? Create your pitch. So what does that look like? I want you to literally write out step by step. I want you to write out what are your objections that you typically get. Then I want you to frame a pitch around your offer, right? So what do? You're gonna explain what your offer is. You're gonna explain who you are. You're gonna add in some social proof. Then you're gonna talk about pricing. Okay, sound good? All right, guys. All right, guys. Last thing before we go, I have a link down below. We don't charge we don't have a set price that we charge for coaching. What we do, we have a model that's pay what you want. So we don't look in anybody's pocket and say, hey, you have to spend $2,000-3,000 for group coaching. What we do is we say, hey, listen, we know this is valuable. We've been able to help a bunch of people. What's up? Whatever's in your realm right now to pay that. Let's get you to this next level. Because what's going to happen is we're going to put you in a position where you're able to spend $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month without blinking, because we've been able to help you. Sound good? I'm Coach T. Hopefully today's been great for you guys, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.